This is the main location we shot our thriller opening in. It is in South Bank in London, which is the centre of a busy city, and we thought it would be effective in creating a loud and crowded mood. The crowded streets represent the crowded, complicated and conflicting thoughts that we want to be shown to be going on inside Ali's head. We copied the greyness of the urban streets that can be seen in films such as Fish Tank and Kidulthood, and the TV series Misfits. We wanted to create a similar gritty, low-budget feel to our film. Ali is on a run through the city, which is similar to the trailer for the film Shame, in which the main character is running and self-reflecting in the busy streets of New York. We also looked at Moonrise Kingdom, directed by Wes Anderson, which gave us the idea of incorporating bright colours against the dull grey.
The location also affected the style of our film. We wanted it to look low budget, typically English and gritty. Also, we wanted it to look professional at the same time as not being too flashy and smooth like films such as Fight Club and Collateral. This is why we used a handheld camera effect in the tunnel scene and used relatively normal-looking actors and costume. We took inspiration for style from TV programmes such as This Is England, Skins, but we also tried to include some of the styled shots of Wes Anderson, like in the Royal Tenenbaums.
For Ali's run, we wanted her to look casual and not like she's trying to look attractive. Thus, we got Brittany to mess up her hair and look somewhat dishevelled. Her costume is very similar to Mia from Fish Tank, but at the same time, we didn't want her to look in the same social position as Mia. For the court scene, we wanted Ali to look smart and suitable without revealing too much, as she's going to a trial for rape. We wanted Jasper to look vulnerable and small to contrast as quite weak next to Ali, and also to plant the suggestion that he may be innocent. We wanted his suit to be slightly unfitting to make it look like he's not used to be dressing up, and makes him look more weak and innocent. For the flashback rape scene, we wanted the actor to be dressed in any typical stalker or murderer costume to make it look as if it could be anyone.
For the plot of our film, we decided to make the main character a 19-year-old girl called Ali Quinn, who had possibly been raped by her neighbour, who is called Jasper Thomas. We deliberately left the answer to whether it was he who raped her or somebody else, and made it ambiguous to whether she had been raped at all in the first place, because we did not want to answer too much in the opening sequence. We set it in a London neighbourhood similar to Clapham. The plot is similar to the film directed by Rufus Norris called Broken. Broken has a man called Rick who is blamed for a rape he did not commit. It is about his slow transition into madness and is generally a sad and depressing film. Luke Forian, who is playing Jasper Thomas in our opening, looks slightly like Robert Ems, who plays Rick in Broken. We have generally based Jasper on Rick. Our plot follows a typically basic thriller narrative of a defenceless girl who is attacked by a man. However, we wanted to move away slightly from this by suggesting that it may actually be the man who is framed, which is a similar theme to Broken. For the genre of our film, we based it on the typical low-budget, art house English borderline thriller film. This includes cold grey lighting, very basic English locations, and normal-looking characters, i.e., obviously not Hollywood. This genre applies to a number of films such as Broken, Fish Tank, Kidulthood, and TV programmes like This Is England and Skins.
We had a number of different inspirations for types of shots in our film. For the flashback, we tried to replicate the black and white colouring in the opening of Casino Royale and make it clear that it was in a different time frame. We also tried to create tension in the cross-cutting of scenes in the cars towards the end of the sequence by reconstructing similar shots from the film Drive. For the opening running sequence, we really liked the way Shame was shot within the trailer and tried to replicate it with these types of shots in our film. We mainly wanted to use the idea of running away from something and self-reflection, which I think we successfully put across to the audience. To give a clearly thriller theme and also to help us break up the narrative, we incorporated the famous Psycho shot in our film, which I think really helped create a lonelier character.
For the music, we wanted to use a very simple piano melody so that the running scene didn't become too tense or stressful right away. If we had been able to use copyrighted music, the main songs we would have liked to have used were Colours from the film Broken, which has a more positive feel but is still quite depressing and mellow.
Red's the color when you're dead. If you find me gone, I'm just in bed, reading up on
Hand Covers Bruise from the film The Social Network, which is mainly orchestra with very little variation in tune. Or Point of Disgust by the band Low, which is from Skins. Originally, we planned to recreate the white noise sound that is used at the very beginning of The Dark Knight, but decided to go against it as it meant there was too much sound and it became a bit too overwhelming for the audience. In the flashback, we wanted to make it more surreal, so we used a deep heartbeat sound to make it more stressful and dark.
For our credits, we wanted a very basic font such as Arial so that it didn't affect the type of film. This was similar to films such as Kidulthood, where there are very little credits in simple font. Both Kidulthood and Fish Tank include their title in a blackout, which we replicated to break up the narrative and use as an end to our title sequence. This goes against big-budget thrillers such as James Bond, where the title sequence is used as an important opening with lots of effects and music.